Good morning and welcome to another episode of the BAM Blog Breakdown, where Brian Kaiser, Aaron Zambrano, and myself break down expert blogs so you can better understand and apply the information to your business and life for real results. Before we get started, we urge you to get over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our channel there. This will do two things for you. One, allow you to review all our prior BAM blog breakdowns, this blog big BAM breakdown, and the second thing it'll do for you is it'll keep you in the loop so that you can know when we have future episodes coming up. Everybody likes to be in the loop. Get over there. YouTube has made it simple. All you have to do is go over there and click the button that says subscribe, and you're in the loop. What better loop to be in than the BAM loop? All right. I am your humble co-host, Mike Calder. I'm here with Mr. iFit Model, Aaron Zambrano, Mr. World's Greatest Connector, Brian Kaiser. Brian, how are you today?
You know, blessed and highly favored, as I normally am on a Monday morning, and just, we picked a good blog for today.
We did.
This is gonna be good. People are gonna like this one.
Do your job. Do your job.
That's right. You can hear people saying it already.
Aaron, how you doing?
I heard it on BAM.
Aaron, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm wonderful. Just had another amazing weekend. I don't think I ever have a bad weekend, but had an amazing weekend and ready for this show.
Awesome. I had a good weekend as well, and I am ready to really break down this blog. It's from one of my favorite new followees, whatever it is. I follow him, and I really dig his stuff. He's got some great things going on. I've been to some of his events, and it's by Jeff Shore. And this time it's the Jeff Shore blog, but Jeff is actually the writer. And the title of today's show is To Do Your Job. This to me, this could be an extension of a recent post on the Jeff Shore blog by Ryan Taft that we BAMmed just a few weeks ago, titled Ask the Right Questions, right? Could this be an extension of that, Brian?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think so, right? Asking the right questions, right? So the difference is that this post, we are discussing not asking questions that put the prospect in a position of doing the work for you. And we'll get further into that. Jeff talks about a question or statement that is commonly used in sales or in the sales process that really kicks off the relationship on the wrong foot, right? And that's just first impressions are everything. That first question, that first statement matters, right? And the question or statement that he's referring to is, tell me what you're looking for. In this post, Jeff is letting us know people expect us to do our jobs. We're the experts. We can't expect them to be an expert in the field in which we're doing sales. So asking the right question is key. And when I think about the question, tell me what you're looking for, I think about dating, right? The bad questions that we used to say at the college bar, right? Hi there, if I made the alphabet, I would have put you and I together. Or another cheesy one, right?
I really hope you didn't use that, brother.
I hope you didn't use that.
Or, hey, you come here often, right? Any bad opening line. In this post, Jeff gives a Home Depot story and an example. While not the best example, he even says that, it's still a much better approach. Now, I can't give you a better line for dating. If you're a listener out there and you need a line for dating, I can't help.
Talk to me.
Yeah,
talk to Aaron.
Talk to Aaron. I picked my wife up by trying to recruit her into Amway. So and that's a liberal, right? So you can't go with me, right? I've been married 16 years. But Jeff not only warns us of bad opening questions here, but he also calls it rude, and it makes the customer lead the process. The customer should never be leading the process, which we know can never turn out good if the customer's leading, right? It's our job to lead the process with good questions that serve the client's best interest. Please don't miss that part. Get over to the blog, read the post. It's absolutely fantastic. Again, it's by Jeff Shore, jeffshore.com/blog. All the stuff's there. Brian, I know you enjoy everything Jeff Shore does is fun. It's good. They're great storytellers. Every one of their blogs has a great story backing it. They're just experts of that. Did you have any aha moments in this one?
You know, this one had it did have an aha moment, but for me, this is there's other people. I know there's other people that feel this way too, but I gotta give a big, huge shout out to Jeff, and because Jeff has given everyone actual permission to deep six the most irritating question of all questions. So tell me what it is you're looking for. Okay? If they knew what they were looking for, they wouldn't be looking to you to provide them a solution. In my notes, I put down a little story because I had a client that because clients often do this. They know somebody that can help with something that they perceive as a problem, so they brought in this sales trainer dude that's awesome. He's supposed to be great. Well, needless to say, the sales training was terrible. All the employees there just had a horrible time, and he and I, the sales trainer and I, didn't get along. But he took this approach. Oh, you should ask the question. Ask them what they're looking for. Get them to tell you what it is that they need, and then you can give it to them. That's easy, right? So my aha is, and I think there's more people that would like to say this, but I'm going to say it. Thank you, Jeff Shore, for giving us permission to finally deep six that stupid question and that silly approach to getting your customer engaged with you. That's my aha moment.
But Brian, it's not the only bad question, right? I mean, there's a lot of bad questions. Like if I work if I'm doing new home sales for a big home builder, and I sit in the model home all day and take what brings you in today? I'm looking at houses, you idiot, right? I mean, there's just a lot of bad questions that can be asked. So we got to kind of look at the questions that we're using and the approaches we're taking, right?
Definitely. So tell me what you're looking for is right along those lines. It's just really.
Yep. So Aaron, let's get to the Aaron Zambrano iFit minute. Pre-show, Aaron and I were talking. He said, "Man, this was a really tough one for him to come up with a spin, but he did, and I read it, and it's really cool." So Aaron, in your words, how do we apply this?
Well, what really stood out to me was the quote, "What's your story?" And that's not only asking what you're frustrated about, it's just really understanding the entire story. So, how did you get there? And the solution just is not the problem itself. So I would kind of take you through what normal people do. What normal people do is say, okay, I want to lose weight. That's their problem. Then the next thing they do is they go find a weight loss plan, and they find any weight loss plan, anything on the market, whether it's a free online plan or it's a book. And then they try it, and then they fail, and then they start over again next January, whenever their goals start. So what they're doing is they're only discovering the problem, and that's it. They're not really understanding the entire story. So when I take somebody through an initial coaching session, it's more of a getting to know your story than anything else. And I asked right from the beginning, tell me the last time that you've tried to lose weight. And tell me about that, and tell me why you think you failed. And I start to understand all the different aspects of every single time that they've tried, whether it's just last month or 2 months or 6 months ago. It doesn't matter, but every time in their life. And so I want to look at everything, but it's just don't look for that. If I can understand why all the time somebody failed, then I can really start to put the entire thing together. So before you do anything, know your story. The more that you know your story, the more detailed you can be to creating effective solutions for the problem. And so that's my iFit minute. Know your story, know every single part of it, why you failed, and not just look at the problem by itself. So now I'm going to hand it over to Brian for his 3 keys. So Brian, go after it.
Aaron, that was excellent. That was excellent. The Brian Kaiser 3 keys. The first one is be bold. Help your customer. Jeff puts it. I mean, the point of the blog was, don't ask a silly question. So tell me what you're looking for. I mean, that's like they already knew why they came into the store. They already knew what solution they wanted. If that was the case, they'd walk in, they'd buy it, and walk out. They never ask you for anything. There would be no need. When they come to you, you have to be bold, and you have to do exactly like Aaron said. Okay, you got here. What's your story? And Jeff uses that as one of the examples of buying a washer and dryer for a cabin he was renting. The salesperson didn't ask him, "Hey, what are you looking for? What's it? What that?" He says, "Hey, what's your story?" And, of course, Jeff will explain, and when you go over to the blog and you read it, that he was taken back by that. So that's a bold way to approach a customer, because you don't know what you're stepping into when you ask that question. When you ask them what's your story, you don't know, but you allow them to tell you, everything associated with that process that they're going through so you can better help them. And it may be, there's this thing in sales called upselling. It may be that you can actually sell more by getting the whole story than just, the quick little dumpy question. So tell me what you're looking for. So that's the first key. Be bold. Second, know and study how and what questions to ask. Jeff Shore is an excellent sales trainer. He has excellent staff over there. If you need help in understanding sales process, sales questions, all those things, go to the blog, go to his site. You can read the blogs. You need extra help, send myself, Aaron, or Mike a message. We will make a personal introduction to one of these guys and get you the help you need so that you can know how and what questions to ask. It's not rocket science, but there is a methodology to it. And there is some little bit of science behind it, and you have to know when to ask the question and how to ask the question so that you can get to the bottom of the story and get them the solution they need. The last one, do your job. When the client, I think if there's anything you get out of this blog from Jeff is do your job. Educate, inform, and guide your client. That's why you're a salesperson. And I know one of the radio show hosts here in Houston was making this point this morning that if you say you're in sales, that's a bad thing. If you're in sales, who's not? Who's not in sales?
Everybody.
Everybody's in sales. I mean, we're all in sales. But the point is you have to educate, inform, and guide your clients to the right solutions, because they don't know or they wouldn't be coming to you. If they already had all the answers, there'd be no need for you. So 3 keys. Be bold. Know and study how and what questions to ask. And number 3, do your job. Educate, inform, and guide your clients so that you can get to that wonderful thing that we all as salespeople love, referrals. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Mike Calderwood and let him give the Mike Calderwood Advantage application because we're doing our job.
Absolutely. Brian, great 3 keys, and I love that you said everybody's in sales, because just because you're not, your title doesn't say sales. If you're a small business owner, if you're a solopreneur, if you're whatever it is, you're in sales. I mean, remember my horrible way of picking up my wife was by salesman, right? But, I got better at sales along the way while we were dating, and finally she married me, right? I was able to close the deal, right? So, yeah, we're all in sales, right? So let's get into the application, right? So first thing that I'm going to recommend to you, and there's a key to this that you might want to look at as well, is review the typical questions you're already asking your prospects with your sales coach and dump the ones that aren't serving you or your clients well. Now, the part of that I don't want you to miss is with your sales coach. You may have a generalist coach. You may have a mindset coach that helps you work on, you and your personal development as a business owner. But you need something that's specifically good in sales. Okay. And if you think about a football team, there's a head coach, there's trainers, there's a quarterback coach, there's an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. There's all different kinds of pieces to the coaching team. And so if you're struggling with sales, a specific sales coach might be needed. You may need to add that to the team of coaches, or as a subset of your primary or head coach right now. That being said, Aaron, this will be a little bit of different, funner approach because you're going to have to reveal something here, right? Do you remember a time where you asked a prospect, or maybe even a date, right? Any type of prospect here, maybe business, maybe personal, a question, and then you were like, oh, I wish I could have that one back?
Never. I am perfect. Mike,
I love it. That's awesome.
I don't think that you've read the 100 Ways That Aaron Is Talented book. The book that I wrote. uh, of course I have. I've absolutely asked somebody that question. And one of the things that really has helped me over the years of sales, because everything I do is sales, right, is after I go back and realize, what I could have done better. Actually, that's what I ask. I sit down after every appointment or every person that I talk to and say, what could I have done better? And I write those things down. And so, I mean, I could seriously sit here for 20 minutes and talk about all the things that I've messed up on. So there's no doubt I've asked questions that I wanted to take back for sure.
I like that. So, Brian, if you heard that the way I heard it, Aaron looks at his game film. He goes back after the performance, looks at his game film, and adjusts for next quarter, next half, next time, right?
I think he probably fits in our group, high performers.
Yeah, absolutely. Know the information. This is advantage point number 2. Know the information you need from people to best serve them, and frame your questions to those needs. So, what things are you trying to find out so that you can help serve them, right? What problems do you solve? Different things like that. So you need to frame your questions around what the needs are that you fulfill, right? So there's a little bit of a process here. Brian, what is one piece of information that you seek out from prospects that helps you choose their next best steps, which is what you primarily do for people, right? You help them go through a process to figure out what their next best steps are.
Correct.
What information do you seek?
It's okay. It's 2 pieces, but it's 1 part. Okay, it's I need to know what is working well and what is not, because by knowing those 2 things, then we can knock out the things that don't work and do more of the things that are, and figure out who can best help them, whether it be me or whether it be strategically positioning over to another coach. Give them the best next step. But without knowing what's worked and without knowing what hasn't worked, getting the story, I can't tell them their best next step. It's impossible, because, right. I mean, everybody's human nature is to say, hey, I'm doing wonderful. Life is great. Love is good. I'm great. Rock on. And the crux of the matter is that's not true. And you got to do, just as you pointed out a second ago, you got to do a little game film review there and point out what is working, what's not.
Jeff reminded us in here to, with what the way the Home Depot guys approach, what's your story? Aaron brought it up. You brought it up. For the listeners, it's important to know their story. It's an important part of the sales process. When I worked for Cox Communications, guys, I worked on a team of 125 salespeople. There's thousands of salespeople nationwide, but each market had their own sales team. So I'm in Phoenix, and at this time, Phoenix is booming. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the country, and people in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, were moving and flocking to the Phoenix area because they could sell their 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house for $1.5 million in the Bay Area and move to Arizona and get a 4,000 square foot house for $250,000, right? And so major upgrade. So as people were retiring, they're constantly moving. So we were constantly getting calls at Cox for, cable, internet, and phone. That's what we sold, right? And the big difference between me and the reason why the top salespeople were the top salespeople and the mediocre salespeople were simply that initial questioning, right? We'd see a number come through and it's from San Francisco. We'd know they're moving here from the Bay Area. We know that. But the mediocre salespeople would ask, how can I help you today? What are you looking for? Well, I just want basic cable. Okay, we can get that set up for you. What's your address? And that's the process, right? Whereas I would say, hey, I see you're calling from San Francisco. Are you moving to Phoenix? Yeah, we're moving to Phoenix. Excellent. Tell me about the cable, internet, and phone services that you had there. And they'd start telling, because otherwise they'll tell you they want basic cable, right? But if I get them to say, oh, well, we had HBO and we had Cinemax, we had the sports channels, and I gotta have ESPN, and I'll make a joke with them, oh, you're moving from San Francisco, well, at least you get the Cardinals now, right? Or something like that. To find out if they're a sports fan. I would go down a road, I would get their story. I didn't really realize I was getting their story until I read this post. I would get their story, and when I got their story, I got to know exactly what they were looking for, and it went beyond basic cable almost every time. So the difference was somebody that made $300-400 a week in commissions and somebody that made $3,000-4,000 a week in commissions. right? So we got to know the story. But here's the thing, and this is application point number 3, and I say this a lot, and I'm sorry, guys, you got to practice. Application point number 3, you've got to practice. This is not something that you just go out and start asking the perfect questions and your sales go through the roof. You've got to practice. You've got to review the typical questions that you ask with your sales coach, dump the ones that aren't serving you and your clients. You've got to know the information that you need to acquire to best serve your client so that you can frame your questions to those needs, and then you need to get out and you need to practice this. And you're going to fall down a little, but you're going to get better and better, and you're going to refine those questions. You're going to refine that process, and before you know it, you're going to ask 1 or 2 questions, and people are going to open up and tell their full story for you, and you're going to know exactly what to do next. And cha-ching, sale, 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 if your product and service matches those. So, that being said, that's my application. What did I learn today? Aaron, this was a really, really, really cool post, and I enjoyed it more than I'm a sales guy, so I like anything from Jeff Shore and his team. What did I learn?
Well, I think you just go back to ABC. Always be changing. Look at the other areas of your look at the other areas of your sales process. If the opening section needs to be changed, then what else needs to be changed? So go back, re-examine your sales process, and fix those other areas as well.
Definitely. Brian, what did I learn from this episode?
Mike, you learned do not make your customers do the selling. I love Jeff's analogy with the doctor. We don't go to a doctor and tell him or her their diagnosis. We expect them to do their job. They ask us questions. They let us tell our story. They get involved. They want to know, okay, is this happening? When does it happen? How does it happen? How long does it last? They go through a whole process of questions so that they can get to a diagnosis to help us get better, to help us overcome whatever is ailing us. So we need to, always continue and develop and improve our knowledge of what questions to ask, and more importantly, how to ask them and when. And then understand that you ask those questions and shut up. Let the customer tell you their story.
Guys, I learned a lot today, didn't I?
You did. It was a good blog. I told you it was going to be good.
It was. Another Bam Slam home run, guys. You guys are rock stars. I love it. This has been another episode of the BAM Blog Breakdown, where I, Mike Calderwood, along with co-host Brian Kaiser and Aaron Zambrano, break down expert blogs so that you can better understand and apply the information to your business and life for real results. You can look forward to new episodes of the BAM Blog Breakdown each and every Monday and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to beg. I'm going to drop to my knees. I'm going to cry. I'm going to grovel. Please, please, please. I can't do puppy dog eyes anymore. Maybe Aaron can do that for us. I don't know. I can't do puppy dog eyes anymore, but get over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Get engaged with what we're doing. Show is evolving fast. We're having a lot of fun. Aaron brings a new dynamic. We got new blogs coming out all the time, new breakdowns coming out all the time. Get over, subscribe to the channel, stay in the loop. Remember, all the links for today's show are listed underneath this video, including a button including a link where you can click and go subscribe. If you like what you've heard today or on any of the BAM blog breakdowns, and you need further information to take advantage of the products or services of the experts that we're reviewing, just reach out to Brian, Aaron, or myself, and we will make a personal and professional introduction for you so you don't have to do that on your own. In addition, if you're searching for a coach for any area of your life, be it sales, be it your professional work, be it health and wellness, whatever it is, get with Brian, Aaron, or myself. We're here to serve. If we cannot help you or solve your problem for you after we've asked you the right questions, right, we will get you to the right coach that can help or serve you. So as we leave this BAM Slam, we leave asking you just that. How can we help you? See you next time. We are out.
We are out.